Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at Wojak, seeing what's going on. Obviously taking off. We want to kind of identify how much further it could pull back if it does, and obviously how much higher it should go if it continues. All right. So if you are new to the channel, not a financial advisor, love teaching people trade. Hope you can learn something here today. Obviously, if you want to become a better trader, CryptoCash.tech is a site linked down below where you can register. We got a lot of new members coming over. We just released our day trades along with our swing trades. Okay, so awesome stuff. Be sure to check that out. We got some results coming here soon. I'll actually get those out today here regarding our day trades. They're highly profitable, awesome experience. Also, be sure to check out our Twitter and help us grow our community as well. It's really nice to be able to kind of interact with everyone and obviously just be part of something bigger. So check this out. You can get in the ground floor. I want to note something really quick here. It's important to understand. Here at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Fed rate interest rate decision, and 2:30 there's a press conference. I'll be sending out a link for that so you guys can kind of stay abreast and kind of watch the show as it happens. But for lack of better terms, interesting, cool stuff there. It's all available on our Twitter here. All right. So with Wojak, what we want to kind of look at here is a few things. First and foremost, I kind of pulled the Fibonacci retracement levels over here. We're going to a larger time frame based on the fact that this is kind of one of the more significant retracements we've seen in the recent past. We could draw out some fibs from some, kind of more recent relevant data, but it's also less relevant because with such big movements that we're seeing right now, you need to see larger time frames, and you got to take into consideration. If you're just doing an hourly Fibonacci retracement level, it may not work so well because it's moving so dramatically. Okay, so that's why we're going to larger time frames here, in case you're kind of curious about that. So here's something we want to recognize here. We got 50 on the RSI. We're proceeding to test that as a potential resistance level. Keep in mind that's always a resistance in most cases, so it could be that halfway point here on Fibonacci. We got that 0.5 level at 14,700. A great chance that's going to be a resistance level for us. I hope it continues through, but keep in mind 0.5, 0.618, that's kind of the sweet spot there. It's typically a strong rejection zone or a support zone if you're on the other side. Okay, so we're on the wrong side of this here so far. We got to treat it like a resistance. We can also see here that the MACD is significantly swinging upwards. This is the first time we've seen this pretty much ever here from Wojak, minus the very first increase, but we didn't have enough data for that MACD because that takes a 12 and a 26-day exponential moving average and kind of gives you a shift in momentum, if you will. We have that shift in momentum. That's a very positive. It's not to say that the price is just going to shoot to the moon, but it does definitely tell us that we're on the right side of tracks there officially at this point. Keep in mind, moving averages, we want to take a look at that here and note that we are above that as well. It's right there at the 0.382 Fibonacci level there. So 13,200 should be a support level. We've also got a previous resistance turn support here. We're going to pull that out over a little bit. Right, roughly about 12,600 is a potential support. So we got a lot of positivity here. We got to keep in mind, though, that this candlestick hasn't closed yet. We've got 7 hours left. We need to make sure we close above those levels today to be having any continuation potential. We also want to take a look here at the 4 hour, and we can kind of see we're extremely overextended on the 4 hour. Obviously, we can see that. It's pretty clear as day, but a lot of volume is coming into this coin, okay? As the volume increases, we'll see the price do so as well. So we want to recognize here that with the price action continuing higher and the volume continuing upwards, we stay above this moving average, we should be in pretty good shape. The key is that if we're above this moving average here on the volume, we're going to be able to maintain that price. And again, this kind of reaffirms the fact that we're on the correct side here of this trading. Okay. So again, 4 hour still has plenty of room for growth. Keep in mind, we are overextended on the RSI. You could experience pullback if you were to. Just keep in mind, RSI would probably come back down to 70, and it's common for the price to kind of bounce off that because that becomes a new support level based on these momentous trends. Now, keep in mind, again, Fed rate meeting today. We could very well see the price continue to shoot up or stunt it out if Bitcoin drops down to that 25,000 range. That's a very fearful market number that we want to pay attention to, right? 25.3 is a point of contention, but for right now, we're looking pretty awesome here for Wojak. The 4 hour is extremely bullish. 1 hour, take a look here and kind of see, we can see that we have this continuation up to a 9. Price rejects at the Fibonacci level there at 0.236, 11,500, kind of rejects out and continues higher. Okay, so that's awesome because that gives us another 4 or 5 hours of continuation sideways. Price continues upwards, so this basically tells us we got another 5 hours of continuation likelihood before this run has effectively hit its max. And what I mean by that, if you're not familiar with the channel or just in general, how TD sequential works, it's a series of numbers, right? So this basically just takes the 4th previous candlestick and counts up to a 9. Once you hit a 9, it will stop counting, but it'll be an overtime. That's what I call it. It's not the technical term. Overtime is effectively just that case in point where the price action is going further than it should, because anytime you have an increase, it has to be followed by a decrease. So if you have these parabolic runs without any consolidation, it's going to drop a lot harder than it should. That being said, we saw the price hit a 9, slows down for about 4 hours, continues to ramp up afterwards, and now we're seeing that next push. So we're at a 4 right now. Hypothetically, 5 more hours of continuation. Coincidentally, that puts us right around that 7-hour mark, really close, plus or minus a couple of hours before the one-day candlestick closes. So it'd probably be safe to presume if we continue another 3 or 4 or 5 more hours of this uptrend, that the price will likely stall out at that specific point and retrace and pull back to the next key level Fibonacci. Right, so again, in that case here, this example, hypothetically, the price consolidates here. If it pulls back, 0.382, that 13,300 mark would probably be a bouncing point. Or, once again, 12,600 as a secondary there based on what we see here so far. Okay, so again, we got that kind of going on there. We can take a look here at, what is it? We want to look at the Ichimoku cloud and just double check here that we're well above on all factors here. So the cloud really doesn't matter when you have these parabolic type of runs. What matters most is overextension and potential for pullback. If we take a look at the 15-minute, we can kind of see here Bollinger Bands are telling us all green lights to take along. In fact, we got that notification back here. Obviously, I was sleeping during that sometime late last night, but the price has continued upwards ever since. So we got some good indications there that we're in good shape. We can also see here with our CC Golden indicator that even though we had some good entry targets back here, there's also an obvious factor here where the price action should pull back here soon because we're overextended on the short-term time frame. Again, this may not be a monumental drop, but if it does pull back, keep in mind it's going to come back to retest this most recent high, which is this level here about 12,600. Secondary to that, worst case scenario, the price continues lower. We're looking at about 11.5. So 11,500 would be the lowest point. That's probably the lowest DCA target you could shoot for. Secondary is 12.6, and of course, initial is 13.3. Okay, so those are just some dollar cost average targets there. I get that question a lot as to how to properly factor that in. A lot of it's just based on Fibonacci levels. Previous highs established themselves as new lows. That's what we're looking for. So again, all green lights here essentially to leave your position open. Keep in mind, if you are a conservative trader, you may want to consider taking some profits because this is a lot of profit in one day, 50%. It's quite a big move. But keep in mind, there is still potential for this to continue to run. So in my personal opinion here, depending on how the candlestick closes here later today, here in about 5 to 7 hours, will tell us a lot. We keep moving up, we keep counting up on TD sequential. Great chance we're going to see a pullback here soon. Again, it could and should continue upwards until that point. But just say, for example, the price continues higher past that level. That's kind of the way that it goes, right? So the key I would say here is to ensure that you have a good risk tolerance, good strategy, profit taking strategy. And to me, taking some profits when the price gets overextended is an important thing. It really depends on your long-term and short-term positions too, though, right? Because if you are a long-term hodler, don't even worry about this. It should be, we are back on track here. Yes, we'll have little pullbacks here and there, maybe DCA as the price comes down. You don't need to close your positions, right? If you're swing trading, obviously maybe a different story here. You would take some profits and maybe consider leaving some open. And if you're day trading, I don't know. That really depends on the time frame that you're trading, but to me, I would have taken some profits when we hit this halfway point here, because 0.5 in Fibonacci is a common retracement level, which we're sort of seeing already, all right? Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. I described that correctly. Thanks again for helping out, helping build the channel here, of course. Come on over to our cash trading Twitter here. Really greatly appreciate you following us and helping us grow the community. And obviously looking forward to work with you if you want to become a better trader. CryptoCash.tech is a site. Link down below. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.